Hi, this is Sue Atkinson from SJA Art Studio, and today we're going to talk about how a person can use tape in watercolor. Well, what kind of tape are you talking about, Sue? Well, here's the kind of tape we're talking about, just plain old masking tape, and how it can help you keep your sharp edges. So you can utilize tape when you're painting maybe a building and you want a sharp edge. Or in this case, I did a perfume bottle and I wanted some very sharp edges for my perfume bottle because I wanted it to be convincing, and I think that having those sharp edges will make for a convincing painting. So there's a couple different ways you can utilize it, and I will show you. I'll give a demonstration here. I'm going to get my masking tape out, and as you see that I've already taped off some areas and I've already painted some areas. So I'll do a little demonstration of another little area here. I'll just choose this. This is going to be one of the darker areas. I already have my lines all drawn on there. They're all nice and straight, how I needed them. And then on this edge, I'm going to go ahead and take my fingernail and just along the edge that I'm trying to keep nice and straight and taped off, that's where I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure. So that'll be right here. And I can either use the scissors and cut it or tear it. It's sometimes easier if you use the scissors, but it can be done either way. And I'm going to come across the top with a piece of masking tape too, so that I have a nice square edge there. And there will be a place across the bottom here that I need to tape because it's going to come to right there. So I need it taped off. Again, only burnishing that one side. I don't want to push it down across the whole piece because I don't want to take a chance of it lifting the paper. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing, this is very important, to use a flat brush, and that's what I have here. You're gonna get your paint ready, so I'm using a little bit of water. You probably saw my spray bottle in there. I'm going to, in this case, just use some blues, some purples, get that a little darker because those are the color tones that the painting is going towards. I could perhaps add a little bit of brown if I wanted to. I don't want this totally wet. I'm going to go ahead and add some more red. I'm just kind of mixing it up in my palette here, as you can see. Want it more to the dark side. Going right over the top of that tape. Again, I don't have my brush so sopping wet. And the reason I don't is because I really don't want that watercolor to go underneath the tape. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And if I do get my brush too wet, I always have my paper towel handy. I'm going to go have little lines drawn here. It's easier to take on a smaller area like that than a larger area. I'm going to bring in some darker color again towards the top of that. I want it a little bit maybe I want it more to the black side up there, just to give it some variation. I can go ahead and add some brown into there. Funny how the purple and brown make black, but it works okay. Okay, so I've made my pass. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute till the shine at least comes off the paper. You can tell by looking at it at an angle that it is shiny there. I don't know if you can see that. I'll just kind of tip the board so that maybe you can catch the shine in the paint. But it'll lose its shine, and when it does, then it'll be time to remove the tape. So I'm just going to let that piece go, and with this side, again, you have to remember, like sometimes there's you have to leave space in between. So for this area, again, I'm lining it up with the lines. I've taken the time to draw this out. So it's a more precise piece of art, but we have help because we can use the tape on it to get a very nice straight line. And it does take time to do a piece of art like this. You're not going to probably just buzz through it, but with what we're doing, it's going to give us a much better result than if we were to try and paint it freehand. The lines are going to be much straighter. I'm not going to struggle with it as much. Now this I can just freehand perhaps. Or I can try and take the tape, if the tape is long enough, and try and curve the tape. So we can try that, but remember to burnish it with the back side of your fingernail. And this particular color is going to be more to the pink side with just a little bit of purple mixed in. So I'm going to go ahead, clean off my brush first of all. And put some pink on my palette here. And then I'm going to very lightly, in this case I think I'll do water. I'm keeping it light. I have just a little bit of pink, and that's how I want this. I don't want this area in the middle just because it's a matter of preference, really. And I want to float in some purple color. I'm just taking the edge of my brush just keeping it interesting, that's all. Keeping it interesting. Alright, so that area is done. I'm going to let it go ahead and dry. And we can tape another area. And I see that this one, I can go ahead and remove the tape because the shine has come off of the paper. I don't want to wait overnight. Again, the idea is whenever you do something like this, to not have your brush super loaded up with very wet paint. So here we go. It did pretty good. I got a little bit of bleed, not bad though. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. I can clean that up a little bit later. It's not horrible. I see a little bit seeped underneath. I can clean that up later. This looks like it could be dry already. I'm going to go ahead and remove that. You can, like I said, you can use this technique if you're going to be doing a landscape, cityscape, and let's say that you want your edges of your building to be very, very straight. You don't want to struggle with them. You can use this tape technique. You're probably going to have to do some measuring and the like. And drawing your lines first, very important, so you know where to put that tape when it comes time to. Or let's say you want to do something a little bit more freehand and you don't want to do all your measuring and such, you can certainly try it without. You can try and just lay tape on if you want, see what you can come up with for patterns. Be an interesting experience for you. Again, I'm going to tape where it goes across like that. Burnish that area with the back side of my thumb or my fingernail. Does work pretty good. So then right here, I'm going to do that area again. Just come back. It's a little bit wetter than the last time, I'm afraid. I'm gonna go ahead and load some color in there as I go. Just a little bit. Clean off my brush. Throw a little blue in there, that blue purple that I had mixed up. My idea in this case is I want to keep it a little bit, like how I would think clouds would look. So I want it to be loose inside of those shapes. The shapes themselves aren't loose, they're very rigid, but inside of those, like you can see this background, that's very loose. Now there's one more thing that I will show you as a tip, and that is to go ahead and use a scrubby brush. I have some areas right here that I would very much like to scrub out, and I would like those back to more of a white tone. So I can go ahead and go like this, put my tape down. Yes, you can use tape for scrubbing out areas too. I'm going to protect this area a little bit here with my tape. And this area, because I'm just wanting to scrub a certain area out a little bit. I did that on purpose because I wanted a nice smooth wash, so it was easier for me to come back and scrub that area out. And I'm just trying to make a little curvature right there with the tape. Again, go ahead and burnish that down with the back of my fingernail. And I'm going to use my scrubby. And the paper is very dry, my scrubby is wet. And I'm going to go ahead and scrub that area out, right up to that tape. And I'm going to lift it with my paper towel. is pretty good, and it will turn out pretty much how I'd like it to be. Just a little more. And I can remove that tape whenever I'm ready, and remove this tape as well, because it looks like that. Sometimes you have to watch your tape because it might have an excess on the top of it of paint that you'll want to remove. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm removing that taped area, and then I can come back and do more. So and now you can see that area that I just took the color away from. I hope you very much enjoyed the art tips that I gave you today on using tape in a painting to get straight lines. Nice little tip and trick. And also on rubbing out painted areas to get that light color back and to keep it right where it needs to be so that your lines are nice and straight. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you get a chance to check out some of my other art videos or fine art products. Thank you once again, and keep painting.